It's another championship banner for the men's indoor track and field team as the Cardinals come away from Cardinal College with their third straight national title. All that and more as we recap the season in winter sports at North Cenrtal College. The Cardinal Report starts right now. Welcome to the Cardinal Report. I'm Marc Dahlquist. Joining me to start things off this week is head coach of the national champion men's indoor track and field team, Frank Gramarosso. Coach, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me again.
So the Cardinals rack up 48 points this weekend at Cardinal College and take home the title. Team's got to be feeling good about that.
Oh, it was fabulous. It was a great weekend. We knew on Thursday night after our team meeting when the athletes left the room, the coaches sat there in awe saying, this team is going to do great. They just carried themselves and had the composure, and I wasn't sure what great meant. I just knew we were going to have a great meet.
Did the team feel any pressure? You know, you guys come in as the two-time defending national champions. Was there a little bit of, anxiety before the meet?
No, I don't think so. I think everybody knew what their job was in their event group, and them personally and collectively, they did a great job.
Well, it was also fun to watch. The Cardinal Report made the trip to Cardinal College to see the men's team take home the national title. Let's go to the highlight. Charles Benson Bear Athletic Center, the site for the NCAA Championships, and the Cardinals come in as two-time defending champions, looking to make it 3 in a row. Dan Benton finished second in the 400-meter dash at last year's finals, hoping to take home the top spot in his final track meet as a Cardinal. Down the stretch, it's Benton and Kevin Cunningham of McMurray neck and neck, and Benton is able to stretch for the win by 0.02 of a second, crossing in 48.01. To the pole vault we go as the Cardinals are represented by John Wood, Josh Winder, and Thomas Stacy. Stacy would score 5 points for the Cardinals as he vaulted to a 4th place finish, clearing 4.96 meters. John Wood came in seated second, and he would help the Cardinals jump out to a big lead on day one, as his vault of 5.06 meters would give him the runner-up spot. But sophomore teammate Josh Winder proved to be the vaulter to beat as he clears 5.16 meters on his final attempt, and that would be enough to take home another national title for the Winder family. The Cardinals would finish off the meet in the 4x4 relay, coming in with the top seed. Bai Kaba would put the Cardinals in the lead on the opening leg as he hands off to freshman Mustafa Aleyu for the second leg. Aleyu and Deontay Hackler would keep the Cardinals in front as the baton is handed off to the 400-meter individual champion, Dan Benton, for the anchor leg. And Benton shows he has some gas left in the tank as the Cardinals edge out the University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire en route to the title and wrap up the three-peat, taking home the program's 4th national championship. So, Coach, take us back to those weeks coming up to the meet. There was a little bit of strategy trying to get a couple more relay teams and individuals into the national meet. Yeah, we knew we could try to put together a distance medley, and it took us all season to figure out which legs, which guys should run which legs. And Stevens Point up in Wisconsin had a big relay meet. Well, they had a last chance meet like North Cenrtal, but all the schools were going there to highlight the relays, and we took a distance medley, and they qualified in that meet and added another group of guys to come to the national meet for us. So those relays are almost like puzzles, trying to find the right guy for the right spot. The right mix. The distance medley has 3 distance, middle distance events and 1 sprinter, so trying to get that right combination. Well, it looks like you guys found the right recipe. As the first day of nationals, you guys go 7 for 7 in All-Americans, including the distance medley and pole vaulters. Yeah, it was great. The All-American list just came out from the Coaches Association, and we had 13 All-American performances with 10 athletes. So it was a great. That's what it takes to win the meet. How did that set the tone for day 2? Knowing that the Cardinals had the lead
Did the team, you know, sort of let back at all, or just did they go for the gold?
You know, we can only concentrate on the events that we're in. And, yeah, the first day after the pole vault and the qualifying round for the 400 and then topping off the DMR, getting 7th place, we had a lead, but I think everybody still knew what they had to do in their events and perform. And other schools kind of, I think we were in second for a while then after some of the throws, but we kept at it.
Mm-hmm. Is it more difficult, you know, these meets that stretch over 2 days as opposed to those meets that are just, you know, the one day, get all the events in?
Yes, I know as far as the, in our sprint group, sometimes we try to plan that throughout the season with our training to be ready to sprint 2 days in a row instead of taking off the day before a meet and taking off the day after the meet. But certainly their year-round training and their fall training and in-season training helps getting to the national level and performing at that high level.
So this year makes it 3 in a row. You won your first one in 1989. How does this one, you know, stand apart from those?
Well, you know, they're different because the athletes are different. Some of the events are the same, but every year is a new team, even with the returners. You're not sure what is really going to transpire at the end of the season, and the coaches do a great job working with all their event areas, and we seem to put it together when it counts.
And it seemed like there were a lot of underclassmen that made the trip as well. How has the, you know, the youth and experience of this team sort of meshed together?
Well, we want the upperclassmen to set the tone and set the example in their event areas, and the young guys to learn how to be competitive and how to train and really what it takes. So, you know, the seniors and the juniors, they're a valuable part of the program.
And it seems to spread to the entire team. Even guys that didn't qualify made the trip to cheer on their teammates.
Yes, we want some contribution in some way. If you can't contribute by performance or by your attitude, we hope that there's ways you can help the team. And certainly, just before finals, a group of guys coming out there to support their teammates, it was fantastic for us. A lot of cheer and NCC going on in the background.
That's always good to hear, though, especially for those guys in the track to know that their teammates are behind them.
That's right.
And so you guys move to the outdoor season in a couple weeks. How does the strategy change, if at all?
Well, it's a new sport outdoors because you have the weather. You have the weather for practice situations, and you have the weather for competitive situations. And, you know, there's been years that we go through the whole season with terrible weather, and then there's some years you go through the season with hot weather, and now the distance runners are handicapped by the heat. So you never really know, but that's part of the game. It's part of everyone's learning how to compete in those conditions, and that's why I think competition is more important than chasing a particular time, because you do have the elements to deal with.
You mentioned the distance runners. The Cardinals also won the cross-country national championships in the fall. Do you think that, you know, being outside may aid some of them in dropping some of their times?
Yeah, I think so. You know, we had the 10,000 meters and the steeplechase, and, you know, the winter for the distance runners is kind of like the summer before cross-country. You have to lay all the groundwork, and we'd like to get some qualifiers, and Dan Curley just missed, and I think outdoors is going to be, you know, a new season for them. So developing what they laid the foundation for, and now they have the competitive outdoor season to try to make a qualifying mark.
And it's got to be a little bit easier for those on the track because they know they're going to be running on a 400-meter track. It's not going to be these different lengths, but the wind can really come into play at some of these meets.
Yeah, it sure does. And, you know, we add a few more performers outdoors. I think the men get 20 qualifiers, so there's a few more slots available in some of those events, and we're going to go after them.
You guys will be heading into the outdoor season, but you'll be down one Cardinal and senior Dan Benton, who finished off his career, but what a way to finish for the sprinter.
Yeah, he sure did a fantastic job. He refuses to lose in any race that he runs, and we're going to have to fill some big shoes there, but you know, his attitude and the way he's carried himself over the years has been a great example, and I think some of the young guys in the sprint group are going to carry on.
And one member that will be joining that hopefully fill those shoes is John Howard. He wasn't able to run indoors, but he should be back on the team for outdoors.
Yes, he had an injury and used up his eligibility, I think, his sophomore year by running one race. Now, hindsight, if we would have kept him out of that one race, he would have had both seasons. But, yeah, we're expecting him to be ready and march right in where he left off last year.
And it really just shows the depth of this sprint group where you guys qualify 2 runners in the 400-meter and also the 4x4. It really seems that that's, you know, an event that the guys strive to be successful in.
Yeah, we pride ourselves on that relay, and you know, it was a disappointment last year being disqualified. Otherwise, we could have had 3 straight, but those things happen, and we stayed clear this year, and everybody did their job, and we came out on top.
So with the cross-country national championship, the indoor national championship, are you guys hoping to make it 3 for 3 in the outdoor season?
That's one of our goals, and we'll see how that happens. We're in the hunt for the Al Carius Program of the Year award.
That's right.
We have 2 points going towards that. So usually they'll publish now how all the other schools stack up. But it's nice to have those single digits and try to get our third Program of the Year award from the U.S. Coaches Association.
You guys are looking pretty good in those standings. They came out actually today, and the second team has 8 points. So,
all right.
You know, the Cardinals are looking pretty secure for that. But what do you think is the biggest factor that could prevent the Cardinals from bringing home that national title outdoors?
Well, you got to have the qualifiers, you know, and stay injury-free, and then get to the meet and do what you're capable of doing. If you go to nationals and perform what you did to get there, you're usually going to have a great meet. Every once in a while, the 5,000 was tough this year indoors. You really had to run fast. But usually if you perform your performance that got you there, you could be an All-American and add points to the whole team score.
Well, we look forward to seeing the Cardinals perform in the outdoor season. Thanks,
yes,
Coach.
Thank you.
Don't go anywhere, because after the break, Coach and I will be joined by 2 Cardinals that took the top spots in their events to help lead the Cardinals to victory. Don't go away.